right, how's everybody? I hope everybody is safe and a safe, warm place because it is cold. It is freezing outside. I will call the meeting to order right now. Just some opening remarks. It seems that I haven't gotten too many complaints from anybody. I don't know if anybody else has gotten any complaints, have they?
I can address that on my report.
Right, they will get it later. The only thing that I have heard of is a lot of people that don't have a computer and they're not going to the internet to get information. And one of the things that have somebody have asked me, why don't they put some things on television, like when the buses have problems, or if they're going, when they go, because somebody say, I know sooner or later they're going to start paying again, but make sure they announce that on TV, on the news, that the news reporters announce that the buses is going to start charging again so that they would know it. So because all of them don't have internet or telephones that they go to the internet, especially the older people, and that if they would do that, it would help. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that. So that would be nice. First of all, we forgot about the minutes. I'm sorry.
Well, we haven't gotten there yet. You're making your opening remarks.
So that was important. That was one of the things that came up that somebody said, that sometimes they don't get things from the internet, or they don't know how to work it, they don't know how to get where they need to find information. But if certain things that's important that come up, if they would put it on the news where it'll be reported on the news, it would help. So I told them that I would ask that or bring it up so people would say that, because just about everybody watches the news, at least the local news, once a day. So if it was on the noon and evening or morning news, they would hear it. So I told them I would suggest that to the group, so that whoever takes that, whoever that is under, they would know. So I delivered it. I tell them I did. Okay, so that was it. As far as Metro was here in the building, I have everything seems to be going okay. The people that leave, I haven't had anybody knocking on my door saying they was having any problems. So I guess everything is going fine. Because when they do, they knock on my door. So I haven't had any problems with that. Okay. So did everybody get a copy of the minutes?
No. Yes.
I mean, huh?
I didn't. Faye Chanel didn't.
I sent it out to you, Miss Chanel.
You sent it by mail?
No, I sent it by email.
Oh, I know
received mine.
I can't. I use an iPad, and it won't allow me to read it won't allow me to read the attachments that you send.
Okay, futurely I'll make sure that you get it the same way Sabrina gets it, and that is I copied it on the email, so you'll have it. So I apologize for that today, but we need to approve the minutes. Is that it, Mr. Chairman?
That's right. We need to approve the minutes. So would somebody make a motion?
Yeah, I can make the motion.
Okay. Somebody second?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So it has passed. So we'll move on. All right. Okay, now we'll go to the administrators. DDOT administrator. And did you say
Right.
you-
I was going to take that over as we
Right.
talked about,
Mhm,
since we
yeah.
have some new people here and I know people's schedules are
Yeah,
such
who
that
we
they
know
need to get
who-
moving on. So I just wanted to make sure, is Mr. Oglesby online today? Sometimes not sure.
He is not today.
Okay, so, okay, Miss Pittman, I saw her earlier. She's still on?
I believe she tagged off as well.
Okay. Miss Walsh, is she here?
He had to attend city council, so,
Okay.
and it could be that they're all there, but they had to, they were called into city council.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure if they were on, we could give them an opportunity to speak. So the next person would be you, Miss Williams. Would you like to say something? I mean, Miss Wimberly, I'm sorry. I
Okay,
wrote your name down wrong.
that's okay.
I'm
Well,
looking at you and calling you Miss Williams. Okay. Do you have
Okay, that's
anything for
okay.
the committee?
Good morning. No, the only update that I have for the committee is in the customer service area. We have hired a new agent to try to assist with any backlogs that we would have from time to time. So the agent is still in training, and that's at this point is going well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Chief Brown, I see you here.
Good morning, everyone. I don't really have any thing other than everyone, please stay safe and wear your mask.
Okay. Yeah, now that it's a federal mandate, we have to do that. Okay, Mr. Luckett.
Good morning, everyone, and great to see everyone in good health. Just a couple of things. We hired 5 mechanics in the last couple weeks, so they're in training. And we continue to sanitize buses and continue to ensure that we put safety first. So, you guys continue to, as Chief Brown said, stay masked up. Let's not let our guards down. I know everyone is getting their vaccine now. I'm scheduled for this week, so we'll see how that goes. And stay healthy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ricky Yamakara.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending. Really what we have going on in the data and reporting side is the technology upgrade is chugging along. And we have all the pieces starting to coalesce more since we had a soft launch in November. So that's since the last time. Some of the improvements hopefully we're seeing is still good enunciation on the vehicles. Hopefully some improved location when it comes to the app for the vehicles. And we're working on more data to be posted on our website. So ridership information, those that are interested are being worked on right now to be published. So some things going on.
Okay. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. Ms. Schofield.
Sorry. Right now, everything is in place for the February 8th schedule, and that's all I have.
I mean, that went well?
It went well.
Okay, okay. Can you just explain, there was 3 minor tweaks, right, to that schedule?
There was the Van Dyke was added, a regular weekday schedule, the Jefferson, a regular weekday schedule, and 2 trips on the Plymouth route were added for people going to the factories. That's,
Okay.
is there any questions?
No, I don't know if everybody realized exactly what,
I'm
what you
sorry, I was
did.
sitting up there trying to do some other work.
Yeah.
New system, no issues.
Hi, this is Mickey Taylor Hendricks. To just further that, if riders use routes 5 Van Dyke Lafayette, 9 Jefferson, or 38 Plymouth, they would need to pick up new schedules because the arrival times have been shifted. They are all improvements, so there was service added to all 3 of those routes. But if those are routes that you use, you do need to pick up a new schedule. They are at the Rosa Parks Transit Center in the hard copy form. And they're also available on our website.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Since you have the floor, Mickey, is there anything from your perspective you'd like to share?
Yep, so just one quick update. We have finalized the specific location for the State Fair Area Transit Center. I will send that to Don, and then we can get together to see if everybody has received an email. We did send out an email blast as well as some flyers, and we will be posting this information at the kiosks that are located at the current State Fair hub. So the information is circulating right now. The location is essentially south of 8 Mile, east of the Gateway Shopping Plaza. And we are moving forward with communicating with the other mobility providers to make sure we're all on the same page about serving that location, as well as the other departments involved in the overall site project to make sure we are all on the same page as that moves forward.
Okay, yeah, if you can send that to me, Mickey, I'll make sure the LAC members get that information. Great.
Excuse me, Don, this is Simone Lowe. I have a quick question. Is the form open to everyone? Tamika is attempting to get inside and she is having difficulty with the phone and with the computer. So does she need access to be granted, or how does that work?
Where's Kristen?
I'm here. Are you talking about the survey?
No, our operations manager, I sent her the link for the Zoom meeting and she is not able to join.
Okay. There should not be a login or a password or anything.
Simone.
Oh, okay.
He just needs to be moved over.
I'm sorry, who is it?
Tamika Reeves.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I didn't recognize the name.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, she's there. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know I have a hard stop. So.
Yeah, so why don't you go next, Simone, since
Thank you
you're
very
available.
It was good to hear Ms. Roundtree mention that there were a minimum amount of concerns or complaints. So thank you for that feedback. We sincerely appreciate it. I know today is a very challenging day due to the inclement weather conditions. So our drivers are obviously taking their time, making sure that they're being safe, navigating through the roads. Many roads haven't been plowed, so they're really taking their time. So there are a few delays with the service today. So we just ask you to pack your patience, and we thank you very much for your ridership. And we, continue to work with you in the future. We have received a 1-year extension for our ADA paratransit service, which is great. That will take us to February of 2022. That information is being finalized and is right before City Council. So we do thank you for that opportunity, and we enjoy serving the MetroLift riders. As far as our eligibility, the application process is still underway. We are not granting extensions at this particular time per our compliance team, but we're still making sure that we are certifying and those who are eligible are still able to ride. Jackie Paynes at the beginning of the year decided to retire, so she is no longer with MetroLift. I know many people may not have known that information, but we do wish her well in her retirement and future endeavors. And the last thing that I do have, we did make sure that we reiterated to our providers about the mask mandate. We were already wearing masks in the beginning, but we're making sure that the drivers and the riders are wearing masks or PPE when they're boarding the vehicles to make sure that everyone is safe. So our agents are working remotely from home. Things seem to be flowing pretty smoothly, so we do appreciate that. And that's pretty much all that we have on the updates, unless you had something to add, Tamika. Okay.
No, I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
Okay, and I'll have to drop off, guys, but Tamika is available. She is taking notes, and she will be able to answer some calls. I'm sorry.
Okay, I have a question about, are we going to be doing any special rides for the people for the vaccination? Somebody did ask me that.
Yes.
Do we have
That's a separate contract, actually, Ms. Roundtree. And what I've noticed at, there have been a few people who have scheduled rides to Fellowship Chapel or Second Ebenezer Church because they're also doing different rounds of vaccines on Saturdays. So those individuals that schedule under their MetroLift account or New Freedom account, they would be required to follow the same guidelines of the program. So if we drop you off, you are required, you know, the 2-hour turnaround is enforced. However, there is a program where we are offering vaccine transportation rides to those who have appointments. So you can call in through a different number to obtain that ridership as long as you have an appointment at either Second Ebenezer Church, Fellowship Chapel, or the TCF Center. And we are supplying rides. They're $2 for those rides, but the driver will take you to the location. He will wait while you're receiving your vaccination and then take you back home.
Okay.
Do you have that number?
Yes, it is 313-208-7364.
Okay.
And then you can press option 2 because it gives you 2 options. Option 1 will give you the opportunity to schedule to the COVID-19 testing site trips that were at the State Fairgrounds and at the Joseph Walker Williams Center currently. And then the option 2 will give you an opportunity to schedule your vaccine transportation to either TCF Monday through Friday or Fellowship Chapel or Second Ebenezer on Saturdays. Well, due to the inclement weather today, we pushed all of the TCF rides to Saturday, but under normal circumstances, TCF would be Monday through Friday and the churches would be on Saturdays.
Okay, what's the number again?
The number is
313 what?
208-7364. Option 2.
I'll send that out in the minutes for the LAC members so that you'll have it as reference.
Good, thank you. I'm not sure if I'm choppy with my internet or not, but hopefully that was clear.
Can we
I
add it
heard
to the
you.
chat too?
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, is there anything else for Simone?
There is nothing else for MetroLift. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Deanna Donahue, you have anything?
Hi, everyone. No updates for me.
Okay. Okay, I'm last. Oh, Larry, Larry Smith. We didn't get from.
No problem, no problem. And as it's been already said, of course, unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts, we have about 4 or 5 different meetings going on right now that I'll be bouncing back and forth between as well myself with council, as well as some good news in regards to a lot of things that you all have been stating or that passengers have been making known is the collaboration efforts between DDOT and SMART. And so there's another meeting taking place after this as well that kind of alludes to some different projects and different things that we all have going on within the transit industry within the city of Detroit as well. Since we last met, we all spoke about training. That's been something that has been one of the key items that has been asked of the department to provide more adequate training to our operators. And the good news is that we ended the year very strong with 2 major training modules that took place for our operators to end the year. In November, we had a de-escalation training that was put on by the Champion Group, which is an outside entity that came in and provided a training module for all of our operators that taught them de-escalation tactics, better customer service practices, and then just all around good morale. And that was received very well by our operators. Since then, we have received some good commendations from different passengers. Of course, we understand that this doesn't impact all operators, that yes, we do still have some bad apples out there, but the overall consensus has been that it was very successful. After we completed that training, we didn't stop. We followed that up in December with another training module, which was our enhancement training, which is basically where we pull all of the departments from within DDOT together to kind of put together a training that impacts our operators again as well. So we had members from our compliance team, from our ADA team, from our marketing team, customer service, everybody that came together to kind of put this together. And thank you to Ms. Wimberly, who was able to spearhead that with our training division as well, to kind of boost up the different practices that our operators are going through, as well as a lot of the complaints that we receive on a day-to-day basis. And we utilize those complaints, utilize the data that we collected all throughout the pandemic, and put that together to kind of give them a transparent view of what the riders experience out there on the road, as opposed to always giving them training from their standpoint. So we were able to kind of offer a, kind of a different method of training. Again, it is that we don't say it's perfect, but we are, kind of gearing towards making sure that we provide them with adequate training throughout the year. As of right now, we are on schedule to have another batch of training starting possibly next month or the month after that, depending on how quickly we can put it together. But that is one of the things that we know we have received a lot of complaints about, and we wanted to make sure that we ended the year strong and that we continue to keep that ball rolling into this year. So we look forward to much more training and being able to keep our drivers abreast of whatever practices or whatever best standards are out there for them to be able to improve themselves.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
You got it.
All right. I'm the last person on the report schedule. As Mr. Smith talked about, there was training FTA. We called it the FTA refresher training that compliance provided in December and January to all the drivers. That meant that they got a good refresher on all the ADA requirements. And there was some good discussion about the ADA requirements and some of the issues and complaints that we've had. The LAC knows that we've had a lot of complaints over the last 2 months, especially with regards to boarding via the front door. And I can report today that all outstanding complaints have been resolved, and that I haven't had any complaints in the last basically 2-3 weeks. That it seems like the one complaint I did have was the person was allowed to get into the front door, but then was told they had to sit in the back and not in the handicap seat. So, we've resolved that one too. But overall, things are looking much better with regards to ADA boarding and ADA issues since the things changed last March because of the pandemic. I'm also working on an ADA manual, reference manual, so that ADA riders will know their responsibilities for ridership, as well as, knowing what the transit system, we all seem to know what the transit system is supposed to know, but we also need to put something together so that ridership knows what their responsibilities are, and I'm currently working on that. On February 5th, just to let the whole body know, the LAC met in a special meeting to approve the 2021 accessibility plan. That's the only requirement that the LAC has legally per Public Act 51 of 1951 is that we annually have to approve the accessibility plan that DDOT puts together. And I'd like to thank Mr. Luckett for his assistance with that. And that's about it. We do, I would say the notation that Ms. Roundtree made about people, especially the seniors in the community, not being able to access computers and getting the information. The rest of us rely on computer and access and pulling things off the web, but we have a big population that still doesn't have that capability or doesn't feel comfortable with it. And we need to be cognizant of their needs and the information that they need. So we're gonna have to work on that in order to make sure the senior population gets the information that it needs so they can ride. It appears that from what I'm hearing and with all the shots that the pandemic issues are going to be with us for a while. So we're going to have to make sure that we diligently get information out to people and ways and the forms that they can access. So that's the end of my report. So thank you. Madam Chairman, back to you.
All right, any old business? That we have to take care of?
No, we took care of that accessibility plan on the 5th, so that kind of took care of old business.
Any new business? I guess not. Okay, any public comments? Ain't nobody here to make any comments, huh?
We do have a few hands up.
Okay, take one at a time.
Okay, the first hand up I see is Vardaman.
You know what? I'm blank.
You can unmute yourself.
Don't worry about it. Thank you very much. No, that's
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now, the only thing I wanted to ask is that I just wanted to say I think you all are doing a pretty good job under the circumstances. I do see that they hired 5 mechanics. I wanted to ask the gentleman, are the mechanics still going to school like they were before at Wayne County Community?
Okay, so this is Larry Luckett. To answer that question, we haven't had a class since the pandemic hit. So we are still in partnership with WC3 going forward. But these 5 we hired based on their experience and a couple transfers from other city departments.
Okay. Well, thank you for your answer. Oh, and Mr. Luck, I wanted to ask you too, is it true that a lot of the new coaches have had transmission problems?
Not that I'm aware of, nothing out the ordinary. Transmission problems, new coaches. No, but I will check on that.
Okay. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. The next hand up I see is Renard.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, members of this body, local advisory council. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak. Merely just wanted to raise concern about the lack of accessible information to bus riders, especially those that have limited internet connection. I do agree that there should be some sort of alternative ways to get DDOT's policies and information out over television and also over mailers. I know nobody likes to do mailers anymore, but the department has collected our information, like our email addresses, sometimes our address or other things of that sort. And if mailers are not feasible, a lot of people still work with email. Putting that information out to the public is necessary. So if it's TV, the newspaper, or even mailers, to let people know. And I also just want to be on record to say that I absolutely oppose any early collection of fares, given a couple of reasons. One, the employment situation in Detroit is really bad. A lot of people have lost their jobs. Two, majority of bus riders in terms of age demographic is 45 and up. So you're asking people who statistically probably do not have a lot of money to be raising a fare, to be paying fares. And then that puts the drivers in danger, having people board at the front. And then lastly, with 25% of the fare boxes not working, I don't see how this will prevent so-called joyriders. Riding and using transit is not illegal, What will stop somebody from paying fares to ride the bus all day to take a slot up on the seat when seating is limited? So I'm gonna need the director to kind of think his logic through a little bit more before he decides to rush to collect fares. I resent that. And it's like this department really just is antagonistic towards its riders. It just really is messed up. So I just wanted to be on record to say that. Wait till the population gets vaccinated. Wait till the economy gets back up and running, and wait till people at least get their stimulus money. I don't want to pay $70 for a bus pass, and I'm going to have to wait outside for 20 and 25 minutes for a bus. Simple as that. No one's going to do it. So y'all need to think this through. And that's all I would like to say. Thank you.
Well, sooner or later, they're going to have to pay fares. The main thing is making sure that people know when it's going to happen. But sooner or later, the fares go back.
Fares don't fund the system, out of all due respect. It goes into the general fund where it's gobbled up by every other department except for transit. So no, we don't have to collect fares. Thank you. And I wasn't sure that if there's any legal method going to our other levels of government to prevent this, squeezing blood out of a rock out of us bus riders to do it, I will do it. And I promise you.
Okay.
Galloway GA.
Okay, the next hand up I see is Marguerite.
Once again, that's 734-931.
Good morning.
Hi,
I'm going to put everything in the chat. So please read the chat box.
I will put everything in the chat box, so please read the information in the chat.
Thank you.
In the chats, it says, make sure that the slow plows don't cover the ADA ramps. And then it says, please put numbers in the chat. And then in addition, she says they need more training on the PWD, power and SD laws for all of the operators. Not sure of those acronyms. Don, are you familiar with those? PWD and SD
Say them
laws?
again. I didn't catch them.
It says,
you're breaking up. I didn't quite catch it.
Marguerite has indicated in the chat box that they need more training on the PWD and SD laws for all of the operators, as well as she wants to make sure that the snow plows don't cover the ADA ramps and the stop areas where the passengers have to wait for the bus. And then she asked that you please put numbers in the chat.
And for those who receive emails, please check the spam box too.
Oh yeah.
Because the email sometimes skip and go to the spam box.
Said those that receive emails, make sure you check the send box, because sometimes those emails go into her spam or junk file.
Marguerite, I don't understand what PWD and SD laws you're referring to. Come on.
PWD. PWD stands for people with disabilities.
People with disabilities.
Oh, people with disabilities. Okay.
And SD?
SD stands for service dogs.
Okay.
Service what?
Service dog.
Oh, service dogs. Okay.
Service dogs.
I can respond to that when we did the FTA training for all the drivers.
Yes.
We specifically talked about all the FTA regulations related to service dogs and anything else related to ADA, ridership. So they got it, and we had some pretty healthy discussion with drivers about that. We all know, you will remember the goat issue and the small pony issue from years back. So we even got talking about that. So I feel very comfortable based on the lack of complaints we're now getting that the drivers did get that information correctly and are doing better out on the road. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, they did well.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm done.
I'm finished.
Okay.
Hey, Sabrina has her hand up.
Actually, I saw Jamie Jr. first,
Okay,
and then we'll
okay.
get to Sabrina, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hear me? My voice is breaking up. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak. Two points. One, I'd like to thank you for giving the training to the operators. I would like to restate something that I said before, that I think is imperative, that individuals from the populations being served be somehow involved in issuing the training. So as you went over ADA laws, service dog laws, and preferred interaction tactics for individuals from the disability community, it is my hope that you would employ the expertise of individuals with lived experience. I believe that it is imperative as a way of overcoming implicit bias for individuals that serve the public. And my second comment is regarding the eligibility. The eligibility requirements for Metro Left. I'm wondering if the body has revisited its eligibility, saying that it's no longer an either or with paratransit, to simply require individuals to prove possibly their disability through eligibility for Social Security, or something of that nature, as opposed to a doctor or therapist statement, because in many cases it prevents individuals from getting access in a timely manner. That's all. Thank you.
With regards, if I can respond, Ms. Johnson, thank you for your comments. With regards to the training, futurely, I think that's a great idea to involve people with disabilities. This was something that we felt we needed to get done quickly, and we did concentrate on the FTA regulations. But I believe going forward, there's good opportunity to enhance what we've given them by providing some of that opportunity. What's gotten in the way to bring in other people, of course, has been the pandemic. And as we resolve this with people getting their vaccinations and we get things going back to a more normal state, I think there's every opportunity to do as you say, because I know in the past I have provided such training to DDOT, and we're talking about 35 years or so ago, and brought in a lot of consumers, and that was very productive back then. So that's something we can do, but I think the pandemic kind of got in the way for us to, institute that right now because we're still dealing with our health issues. With regards to your paratransit comment about eligibility, there are some specific concerns in FTA regulations that we must follow. I will give this comment to Tamika, jump in here, but I know Pam King would take a look at that and we can discuss that from our side of the equation. So Tamika, I don't know what you can say with regards to eligibility and the statement that Simone made about not, what was it, doing renewals?
Well, yeah, the eligibility department is being ran by the compliance department. So that would be Pam King, Alicia Miller. They make the decisions based on the processes for eligibility.
Okay, so it's appropriate to go to Pam.
Yeah.
With that issue. Okay.
And I believe they are the ones who compiled the actual application.
Okay.
And
does that answer your question, Ms. Junior?
Yeah, yes, it does. I will also, for the record, state that I am available for consultation at any time if necessary. And also, Miss Marguerite Maddox is an excellent resource.
Oh yeah, I talked to Ms. Maddox quite a bit.
Okay. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Sabrina was the next hand I saw up.
Good morning, everyone. So I did have a concern that I wanted to address in regards to paratransit service. I've received several phone calls in regards to eligibility and being approved or reapproved for service, and that there have been issues around when the application arrives at DDOT in the 21 days that DDOT has to turn around. So I heard Simone state that they're not granting extensions for individuals. However, their applications have been in for quite a while. So I just want to know what can be done and how we can address the lack of well, if you hold the ridership to a standard by saying their forms have to be in and they have to only come in 30 days before, and if they come in the 30 days before, then we have 21 days to approve them, and then you are a month and a half or 2 months behind in approving those applications, why wouldn't an extension be granted for a rider on Metrolift? So that is the first issue I have. And then the second one is the concern about warming centers. I know restaurants are open up now, so people can wait inside a restaurant, but here back in the pandemic, and we never know if the numbers are going to go up and things are going to shut down. What is the plan for the warming centers, and how do we make sure that our folks who are transferring between DDOT and SMART are in a warm, safe place while they're waiting on a ride. Because to tell me to wait in 20-degree weather, in 0-degree weather for 20 to 30 minutes on my next ride is quite not, doesn't make any sense. So case in point, I have a rider who rides out to Troy for work from Detroit, and she has to wait outside of the White Castle on 8 Mile in order to get her ride. And to me, that just doesn't make sense, that there isn't a change or a plan for warming centers to be changed during the pandemic.
Okay, this is Tamika Reeves with TransDev. I can answer their first question. The first question you're asking, based on the compliance department at DDOT, they are not allowing any extensions. We don't have applications sitting in the office. We pick up the mail from DDOT once a week. When we pick the mail up, those applications are processed that day, and the mail is sent out the following day. So we don't have any applications that are just sitting. In some cases, it could be USPS when they're sending their applications to DDOT. But as far as just having applications sitting, we don't have any. So we are processing these applications well before 21 days. When we pick the mail up that day, the young ladies process that mail and send out letters for eligibility the following day. So we don't hold on to it. And as far as the warming centers, I'm not familiar with that. That may be a DDOT question, but as far as Smart Connects and them going into locations, we have had restaurants turn clients away, and we can't control that. We can't, although that the restaurants are open now, some of the restrictions have been lifted, they still do not allow clients or anyone to sit inside and wait on a ride. So if we were to go to a restaurant and go in, we would have to leave afterwards when we're done. So we don't have control over if they allow the clients to sit inside or not. But as far as the warming centers, I'm not familiar with that. Maybe Don or someone at DDOT is.
Well, I know there's conversation between DDOT and SMART regarding coordination where people can wait. And then the eligibility issue and the issue that Tamika mentioned about compliance, controlling the eligibility. Sabrina, I would suggest we talk to Pam King about that, because that's her area is MetroLift and paratransit, and she would have all those details. I know a little bit about what's going on, but not enough to give you a proper answer. So you can email Pam King, or I don't know how you can call me, and we'll figure out a way of having a conversation, okay?
Alrighty, great.
Thank you.
Okay, the next hand up I saw was a phone number ending in 611. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. This is Daryl Rice, and my question is piggybacking off of Sabrina, but in a different direction. So far as the certification, receiving the applications, what is the process for receiving applications? Because I've had several people say they try to go online, and the line online is not always accessible for the blind and visually impaired. So what is the process? Because I know at one time they could go to DDOT, and then they were also, Ms. Payne was also mailing out the application. So what is the process at this current time?
Clients can, as you mentioned, the clients can go online and print the applications out, because that's actually what we do. We print the applications out online. Also, the next best thing would be to contact us at 208-7363, press option 3, and we'll have a representative send those applications out to you. Even if you're in a call center and you're speaking with someone or dispatch, they can
Okay, you want to raise your hand and
transfer you over to our customer care department, and we'll send out the applications to you.
Okay, was that Tamika?
Yes, how are you, Mr. Rice?
Good, Tamika, thank you. And then one other question, you mentioned the customer service. I've had several people call me and say that they've been on long wait time and hold times with customer service, or they just don't get answered at all. And then it filters back into the call center. And then, you know, when they answer the call, they send them back to customer service, and no one's been answering the call.
Well, we have quite a few representatives that are in customer service, and in that queue, that is where clients voice concerns and complaints and things like that. So sometimes it does take a minute, but our customer service line, the option 3 is available.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Don, I think you got muted.
I did. Oh, okay. Pamela King's in the meeting.
I
so-
did move her over. Thank you.
Okay. So Pam, if you can unmute yourself, and please join in on this conversation.
So Pamela King, Regulatory Compliance Officer. I understand when I first came in, I noticed that Don, I think he was speaking to Sabrina. And
Right.
he said you can contact her. Sabrina, you had a question for me? Good morning, everybody.
I don't know.
Sabrina?
Yes.
She said that you have a question for her.
We were talking, Sabrina and Pam, we were talking about people waiting to be picked up by SMART and having to wait outside. And was there any discussion about coordinating places where people could wait? And there was also the discussion about the eligibility and the renewals of applications. So Pam, if you can address that, that would be great.
Sure. As far as the waiting, I have been in talks with Daniel over at Smart Transportation. We started that before the winter hit, so it was in mid-fall. I did contact Ms. Reeves, who assisted me with transfer points that MetroLift has, and Smart Transportation sent me a list of transfer points that they had. And our jobs, our tasks that we did was find locations for clients to wait because the cold was coming during COVID. What we did find is once I got the SMART list, and Tamika did send me her list, I called locations in the area. Nobody accommodates anyone standing inside. That's their rules, their policy during this COVID time. DDOT nor SMART, we cannot command anyone to let our clients in. We cannot. The best I could do for, like example, at Woodward and 8 Mile, I know there's a client who stands at the White Castle. They did inform me, the employees there, that they're used to this gentleman, so they have let him in. But as far as all clients, no. There is nothing that DDOT can do to make someone let someone in, including the hospitals. We cannot command that. That is their policy. As far as eligibility, myself and Ms. Reeves, we're on a schedule. It is once a week. Ms. Reeves does her due diligence. She's there every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. She drops off applications that need to go out, and she receives applications that come in. Before the following week is even complete, she sends me a report that shows me how many were sent out, the names of those that were on those applications, how many have been processed, and the names of those that have been processed. They are meeting the 21-day deadline. So as far as eligibility, they are on track. It is my task as far as compliance to oversee that, make sure that they stay in compliance, and they have been. There was one more. Oh, I heard about the internet. The internet. We were going through a procedure for those to be done online. I'm trying to find out when we can execute that. I have not received an answer as far as execution. I can tell you that the best we can do, I just talked with someone and walked through it last week, is I know everybody does not have a printer. All you can do is download it and proceed. Or I did talk to Ms. Wimberly at DDOT, and it was approved through our maintenance manager that clients can come and pick up an application. And if they want, they can come and drop off an application. Security will meet you at the door. Is there
At 1301?
Thank you, Marguerite. I'm sorry?
Pam, was that to pick up at 1301?
I'm sorry, yes, Don, thank you very much. At 1301 East Warren. At 1301 East Warren, that is where you can pick up and drop off an application. They will allow you to come and pick up and drop off an application. You will not be inside the building. They will just hand it off to you or receive it from you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Marguerite.
It's Sabrina, Pam. Sorry about that. So a quick question about the internet process. Will the internet process be completely internet based, where like we submit information in a form, and then that information is communicated, and then there's a link that we send out to a doctor's office or a social worker to have complete the form to get back to you guys? How does that process, how will that process look?
You're absolutely correct, Ms. Simmons. That is exactly the training we did on it to make sure it could go forward. And we did it through DocuSign. And it's where the client will fill out the application. They're able to send a link and it goes straight to the eligibility team. Then the other link is like the doctor's or social worker's email address. Then that part for verification goes to them, and they're able to send it back over to the eligibility team. Unfortunately, as I stated, at this point, and I've just tried again, I need to know when that can go forward. We've already tested it, MIS, with myself, and at that time, the person who headed marketing. So I need to get a confirmed date, if I can, as to when we can execute that. And I'll try to do that as soon as possible. And I'll let Mr. Lozen know so he can send that out to everyone, okay?
Okay, and then pointed for clarification on the certifications. Was there ever a backlog? Because I got several phone calls. So I just want to make sure I'm not getting false information. Was there ever a backlog on the applications in the months of December and January?
No, ma'am. There was no backlog. Mr. Lozen had contacted me, and we did it by email, and we did it by phone, and we did it in a compliance meeting. There has never been a backlog.
Okay, thank you so much.
Ms. Simmons, let me say this. Maybe the problem may have been that prior to me getting with Ms. Reeves and Ms. Lowe, was that it was where, you know, there was no set dates for the applications. So what was happening was everybody was getting approved for 30 days. And then you had time to fill out the application and send it back. As compliance, what I found was they were doing their due diligence in sending it out. If I can, I'll use you as an example. They'll send it out to you, Ms. Simmons. You have 30 days to return it. Meantime, you can write immediately. But the application wasn't being sent back. So on the 31st day, you call for an application. You call for a ride, an application is sent to you again. That's why I put these perimeters in place. There is no more automatic free ride. I'm sorry, not free ride, please forgive me. There's no automatic certification. You must go through the process, and Ms. Reeves documents in a report when the car came in, when the application actually went out, at that point, we get to actually see. So I think a lot of it was they were used to just calling in the beginning of COVID for all those months. And now the procedure is back in place under the FTA guidelines of filling out an application and getting approval.
Okay, well, I'll take it offline. I want to email you so I can get that procedure because I interact with several people in the blind community, and I just want to be able to have that information up front from them. So when I receive the call, that I'm saying the same thing and on the same page that you're on.
That's absolutely no problem.
Thank you.
Marguerite has a question.
Sabrina, the only problem they had was before the election, when the mail was so messed up. And when they sent you your application, you didn't get the application in a right time. When you should have got the application in 2 and 3 days, you didn't get the application to maybe 3 or 4 weeks. And that was because of the post office, not their fault. Because when I got mine, I looked at the date. The date that they sent it out, I should have got it 2 days or 3 days later. And I got it 3 weeks later. So it wasn't on their fault. It didn't have anything to do with them. It had to do with the post office. And that was during the election time, right before the election, when they were sending out the applications for the voting.
Question for Marguerite.
Yes. Can the application be put in PDF files or copy and paste?
Can the application be put in a file or copied and paste?
PDF.
No, PDF file. PDF.
Maybe it can be put in a PDF file.
And some applications can be cut and paste.
And some applications can be cut and paste.
I believe Marguerite may be referencing being able to type into a fillable PDF form.
Yes.
And printing that.
Yeah.
I have filled out the form online, on the PDF form online, when we were doing the testing for the DocuSign. And I recently went in to do it to see if I could assist this person, like I mentioned last week. So you can fill it out. Now, I didn't try to print it, but I could fill it out. Okay?
Right.
All right.
Thank you. Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Ms. King.
You're very welcome.
Okay. The next hand up I saw was Victoria Burnett.
Good morning, all. I appreciate all that you guys are doing and assisting the citizens and residents of Detroit. I'd like to address the fact that Ms. Pam King and her constituent from SMART looked ahead to the fact that we needed to find something to do for our ridership during this cold weather. But I'd just like to know, after you found out that there was no option of standing in a restaurant or a business, was there any other options thought about or put in place, like maybe a small tent or some type of heaters or something at those more populated areas that people have to wait at? And then I just also would like to piggyback off of what Renard vocaled about the charging of fares to people that are not able to sustain that in their income at this point of time? And thank you. I'll wait for an answer.
Thank you, Ms. Burnett. This is Ms. King. As far as standing, yes, I did find alternatives. They have been sent over to Detroit Metrolift. I did go as far as to even look at Smart Transportation's locations to try to find other standing locations, waiting locations. Was not successful in that. But for example, for the Woodward and 8 Mile, instead of standing on the Ferndale side, north of 8 Mile, it was to use the transfer point of the State Fair Transfer Center. Let me think of something else. Fairlane, we had down that you could go to JCPenney's package pickup. I called there, they said absolutely not. So I tried to use the actual bus location for our DDOT buses, but I also called security at Fairlane. And after some doing, I got to find out that the building does open still for those that walk, but I couldn't get a firm grasp of what doors, what time do the doors close. So I didn't feel that was appropriate, because let's just use, for example, I still call it Sears. You were standing at the Sears doors, that entrance where the steak place is, I can't think of it. But if you were standing there at those main doors, if they were closed, but that was your drop off and your pickup, now I have nothing out there for you because our buses no longer sit there. So there's no way for you to be enclosed. I'm trying to think of another one. Can you think of another one? That was Woodward, that was 9 Mile. Tamika, can you think of one of the other ones that you sent to me?
I'd like to just thank you guys for selecting other options and not just letting it drop because there was no way to do those particular routes that you had came up with. And I appreciate that, and the community appreciates it also. But I think that it is very unfair to the ridership to even anyway near consider charging fares for people to ride on a bus that is really not equipped as far as scheduling is concerned and numbers are concerned. And thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next hand I saw up was a number ending in 170. You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. This is Lisa Franklin. Happy New Year to all of those that I have not seen or talked to. It's been quite some time. I have 3 issues that I would like to raise. And first, I would like to also piggyback on what's already been said about the training and the mechanics, and also the coordination of service. I really do believe that something needs to be, a little bit more needs to be done about the coordination of services. It seems to be an issue with coordinating the services to get into Detroit if you live more than a quarter of a mile from either the smart bus line or either the DDOT bus line. So during this pandemic, I don't know what it will take and what needs to be done to even consider going an additional 1/4 of a mile from the fixed route in order to help coordinate the service and to keep people from waiting out in the frigid temperatures during this pandemic. So maybe going out another 1/4 of a mile from the bus lines And maybe that can also be coordinated with SMART. I'd also like to know if there's a team that's advocating on behalf of the ridership with the RTA on the ADA rides, because in order for this transportation service to be fixed in any way in favor of the ridership, there's got to be better coordination. There's no way that there should be any type of dead zones or non-ADA areas when you live so close to the major cities that offer public transportation. There is no way that anybody should not be able to get a ride unless the city opts out. And I know that there are several cities that have not opted out that have a problem with bringing riders into the Detroit area. So that needs to be addressed. Number two, I know that New Freedom just got a new contract, and correct me if I'm wrong. And so there were a few people that tried to call to get the service since it has been, since there is a new contract, and were denied, saying that they aren't accepting any applications at this time. So I'd like to know when New Freedom will be accepting applications again, and how long that contract is for. Is it just for a year, or is it for 3 years, or how long that contract? And then lastly, I'd like to know a little bit more about the accessibility plan and whether or not it's available online to see, or if you have to put in a FOIA request in order to view that document. Thank you so much. Hello?
Hello, is Tamika
I'm just getting
available?
back. I'm finally back. I was kicked out and we had
Okay.
to let me back in. I
Let me
did
just-
hear.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I did hear something about coordinating with SMART to go out further to increase the service area. That would be a decision that would be made by DDOT. So I'm not sure if Pam is still on the phone or who we could refer you guys to regarding that. The new freedom contract, I'm not, I would need to take that back to management. I'm not quite sure about the extension and the time frame. I do know that the eligibility is on hold right now, and we're waiting on feedback from the director's office regarding applications. So right now we're just relaying the information that we received. So eligibility is on hold at this moment. In regards to the new freedom contract, I'm not quite sure what that did, what the end date is. And training, you said mechanics, was that for DDOT buses?
No, well, no, actually, I was just supporting what was said earlier.
Oh, okay.
My question was about the accessibility plan and whether or not it's available online, or if you have to put in a FOIA request in order to get that. And then I just wanted to know, yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Hi, Donna.
This is Don. The accessibility plan I can send to you if you
Okay.
can. That's not a problem. We just haven't gotten around to getting it online, but that's something that, I can work on next couple days. We were just making sure that it was finalized, but I can send that to you. It's not a problem.
Okay, awesome. And then so was it Tamika who was talking? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Tamika.
Okay. Tamika, the other question was, who's advocating on behalf of the ridership to ensure that RTA is coordinated with DDOT and SMART, and making sure that it's a seamless, process for us to ride? Is anyone working with the RTA?
Yeah, that would be our compliance department. I think that she touched bases on that regarding the working in conjunction with SMART. Pam King did.
Okay.
Team over at
I
SMART.
didn't hear that, but yeah, I
Oh,
heard
okay.
that she was
So,
working
yeah.
with Daniel at SMART, but
Yes.
I didn't know if they were also working on behalf of all of the ridership with the RTA. So I didn't hear that part of it. So thank you, that's it. And Don, if you need my email address, I can send it to you.
Please send it to me just to make sure. I think I have it, but it'd be quicker if you just send it to me and I'll get it right to you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you all for holding this meeting and all of your concern and for the ridership. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Ms. Roundtree.
Hi.
Okay, I'm muting. I'm muting now.
I saw that Ms. King's hand was up. I didn't know if that was in response to this or another question.
No, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. I see Ms. Marguerite has her hand up again and phone number 611 again. I don't know if we have time to do another round.
Well, it's after 11.
If I may.
We don't want to
No,
do.
sorry.
If I may,
Sorry
right
about
quick,
that.
I'm sorry, my computer is putting me in and out. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Pam.
Okay, good. Because I can't see you on screen. Sabrina, you can still feel free to contact me any way you like. But for everyone else on the line, just so you have an understanding and looking at my big sheet, for example, if you're at, and I saw somebody put in Ross and Mac, put in the St. John Hospital over there as a waiting location. That's correct. But like the White Castle location at Gratiot and 8 Mile, there's no waiting inside, but there is a bus stop positioned just west of the building. I got to slide back and forth because it won't let me expand it. It's a bus stop right there for the shelter. If you're using Fairlane, they call the main entrance near PF Chang's. That's where the old bus location was. It's between Sears and PF Chang's. CHANGS.
Okay.
That is a position. The hours are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The doors are open. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. So Monday through Saturday is 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's for Fairline. After those hours, you can use the bus shelters that DDOT use that's near Macy's. Tim Hortons for Smart is permanently closed, so there's no access. Providence Hospital, let me know that there is no waiting inside. There is a bus shelter right there mid-block in front of the hospital doors on 9 Mile Road, okay? Even if you use the Providence door or the, it's I don't know, it's not called the doctor's office, but it's in the back. I think that's North Park. You still can use the mid-block of 9 Mile for Providence. The White Castle, again, at Woodward and Ferndale, just north of 8 Mile Road, you would use the State Fair Transit Center. And for the Bel Air Shopping Center, there is a shelter mid-block. It's between 8 Mile and Veach, V-E-A-C-H, that you could use. And that's mid-block, and there's a shelter there.
Can you repeat that last location as I'm writing that down, please?
No problem. Bel Air Shopping Center, which is on East 8 Mile Road. The bus stop is at 8 Mile and Veach, V-E-A-C-H. 3/4 mid-block, there's a bus shelter headed eastbound that can be used. So if you're on the westbound side and you still need to get picked up and you need shelter, walk to the corner, safely cross the street and stand in that eastbound 8 Mile location bus stop and use that as your pickup. I hope that helps.
Thank you. Confirming the locations, Bel Air Shopping Center, Tim Hortons is closed, Providence Hospital, and White Castle. Did I miss one?
White Castle. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. Smart Use also had one at McDonald's, even though you really didn't miss it, had one at McDonald's on 4th Street in Lincoln Park. You cannot access that, it's closed. I'll make sure I send this over to Don and maybe he can send it out to help everyone out, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, ma'am.
No problem.
Those are all the hands I see.
Okay. Whew, that's a lot. Are there any more questions? Because it's after 11.
I'd just like to thank everybody for their comments
Anyone
and their
else
discussion.
has
And their discussion.
anything?
Mr. Roundtree, I'd just like to thank everybody for their comments and their discussion today. That was quite good, and appreciate everybody's involvement and ability, and for all those from the DDOT administration for coming in and providing information. It's really hard to communicate these days. It's hard to really get an understanding, let alone get out there and ride and deal with the winter weather. So just want to thank everybody for being diligent and straightforward and being very calm and collective about their comments. So I appreciate it.
That's right. Okay, would are we finished?
It appears to be.
We did have one, it looks like one more hand raised if we have time.
Have they spoken already?
611, we did hear from phone number ending in 611, correct?
I don't know. No, because I didn't write the numbers down.
Okay.
Yes, this is Daryl, and if Ms. King is still there, I just have one question on the application. Is the application thoroughly accessible for the blind and visually impaired using the screen readers such as JAWS or their Android phones or the iPhone? Is it totally accessible? And if so, or if not, I have a suggestion. Maybe you can have it tested by some of the blind community. You have one on your board there on the LAC, Miss Sabrina Simmons. Maybe she can test that application process to see if it's totally accessible for the blind and the visually impaired. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. I do apologize. I did miss that part of your question. I do apologize. I cannot verify that, but I will make sure it gets verified. Don, Sabrina, if you can assist me with that, I would truly appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
If we can do that as soon as possible, I would appreciate it so I can find out what I need to get done. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And good talking to you. Long no see.
Yeah, I know. When I heard your voice. Yes, I know.
All right. Okay, if we're finished now, it would be great. And I would like, if we're finished now, I would like someone to adjourn, call for a meeting to adjourn.
Just point of information, our next meeting is May 18th.
Right.
Okay. May 18th.
May 18th.
Okay, we'll be wearing Hawaiian shirts and shorts, right?
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so.
All right.
I hope so. I hope we are. So
right.
who would like to call for a meeting to adjourn?
Yes, I will call for the meeting to be adjourned at 11:28 a.m.
Right. Second.
I second it. Oops.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it has been moved that the meeting will be adjourned. And I hope everybody be safe out there. And don't forget to mask up, wash your hands, and also be safe in the snow and keep warm.
Yes.
Amen.
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 Don, I'm calling you now.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.